So the Guardians win again last night. They went bullpen
What my boy Stephen Kwan do?
He got a couple of hits. He had a home run.
He back. Yes.
It was good.
He back.
Hey,
the 400. We got. Look.
I'd love to see him get hot in these last 4 games before we start the playoffs here. He comes off the IL, and Miles Straw, thankfully, goes back down to Columbus, where he belongs. Although the Columbus season's over, but anyway,
where he belongs.
Where he belongs in the mind. Yeah, he belongs out of baseball, but so that was good. They win. They're within a half game of the Yankees for the top overall seed. If the Yankees lose, Yankees have lost 2 straight to Baltimore. If they lose tonight, then they'll be tied. Remember, the Yankees have the tiebreaker, so the Guardians have to finish with a better record than the Yankees to get the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. But they went bullpen by committee. Tim Herron did give up a run, and then Hunter Gaddis gave up a run in the 8th. But then Jose Ramirez hit an absolute bomb in the bottom of the 8th, and it was with 2 out, nobody on. Kwan gets a hit. Manzardo, who's been great since coming back to the big leagues, gets a hit.
Boy.
And then Jose just absolutely. Was that all? I mean, that was like second deck right there. He smoked that ball. His 38th home run of the year. And with all the talk about Ohtani, deservedly so, Jose Ramirez is putting up historic numbers this year. Only one player in the history of baseball has had 40 doubles, 40 homers, and 40 steals in a season. That was Alfonso Soriano in 2006 in his 1 year with the Washington Nationals.
Wow.
Jose Ramirez has a chance to become the second player to do it this year. He has 38 doubles, 38 homers, and he's got 41 steals, I think, now.
How many games left? 7?
There are 3.
There's only 3 games left?
The weekend.
Guardians are off tomorrow. They're off today, and then they have a 3-game series against the Astros this weekend. That is it. So he's got to hit 2 homers and 2 doubles this weekend. Certainly won't be easy, but he's got a shot to get there. If he does, he'd be the only player in that club, because there's only one other, that doesn't have 100 strikeouts. He'd become the 7th player ever to do 40 homers, 40 steals, and only 2 of those other 6 did not have 100 strikeouts. I think, was it Acuna and I think Barry Bonds.
How many strikeouts he got?
He's got like 80-something. He's not going to strike out 100 times.
Would you force it? If you put a double, would you force it?
What do you mean?
If you was a Jose?
Like if you have a single, would you try to stretch it?
He tries to stretch.
100%. I want to single into a double.
You go for it.
I want to get that. I got another stat for you, not Jose related.
On the line, he might just run until they throw him out.
So
inside the Parker.
Emmanuel Clase got his 47th save yesterday, right? 47th save for Emmanuel Clase. In the history of the Indians/Guardians franchise, including Emmanuel Clase, there have been 333 players that have gotten at least 1 save as a member of the Indians/Guardians. 333 players. Now, you take out Emmanuel Clase because the stat's about him. So there's been 332 other players who have gotten at least 1 save as a member of the Cleveland Indians/Guardians. And of those 332, only 10 of them have more saves in their career than Emmanuel Clase, in their Indians/Guardians career than Clase has this season. Only 10. And the 10th guy is Steve Olin, who's got 48. So Clase could pass him this last weekend, too.
Wow.
That's how remarkable it's been. Obviously, he's the all-time save leader. He's still, what is he, like 25, 26? I mean, he's still really young.
He young like that?
I think so.
He's probably around 20. He's been here for a few years now.
Mike, can you look up how old Clase is?
27.
And then, how am I looking on my home run prediction?
You know what? I haven't looked at that in a week or two. They're probably right around that midpoint at this point.
I just need them to finish.
But so
the Guardians are 12th. I have to plug myself in, Tyvis.
Yeah.
You can relax. Clase is 26 years old, turns 27 next year.
So 26.
You said
And they're
that
12th in home runs, and barring 3 or 4
Cashier.
teams getting red,
That's it. You
red
got
hot, Tyvis is going to finish in the top half. And his
Great
prediction is
job.
right.
Great job, Tyvis. That was a great prediction. They will top number 12. Yeah.
Tyvis, I'm going to now unplug my mic. You will hear a click. Do not complain.
You know what? The most impressive. I want to go back to Jose for a second. The most impressive Jose stat of all of those. What is it to you? What are you most impressed with of those stats?
Of the 40-40-40
Yeah.
part?
For me,
Yeah.
it's stolen bases. He's 31 years old.
That's true. It's a good point.
Guys at that age
Yeah.
stop running usually. And I actually
Right.
looked because I was just curious. So I was driving in this morning. Yes, while I was driving in, I was Googling Kenny Lofton.
Of course you were.
I want to see how many stolen bases Kenny had. In his age 31 season, Kenny had 54. But that was his last season.
And he didn't have close to the power that Jose had.
No, but a guy who was known for
Right, sure.
Because I was really surprised it was that high. I thought it'd be a lot lower.
How old's Ohtani now? I mean, he's not 31, but
No, he's still he's
28 maybe, 20, yeah.
But guys, I mean, stolen bases are hard on their body.
Oh, sure.
Over the course of the season, and guys, it's coming back now. I'm glad to see it come back because it vanished from the game for a number of years.
Yeah.
And now they're back, but to be 31 years old and to run as hard as he does and to pull up pile up the amount of steals that he does at that age, that's actually, to me, that's more impressive than the homers and the doubles.
I'll give you another stat that I researched last night. I think it's safe to say Jose Ramirez is going to finish in the top 6 in the MVP voting. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay.
He better be top 3. He better be 2.
Assuming he finishes
3.
Assuming he finishes top 6.
3.
Jose Ramirez, since 2017, will have the most top 6 MVP finishes of any player in baseball. Isn't that incredible? Right now, he and Mookie Betts are tied with 5. But Mookie Betts is not finishing top 6 this year because he missed a lot of the season. Jose is going to get his 6th top 6 this year. That's nobody, not Aaron Judge. There's like 6 or 7 guys that are either at 4 or in the case of Judge, Ohtani, and Soto, they'll get their 4th this year since 2017.
Is he a Hall of Famer yet?
Jose?
Yeah. He said no. He said he got like 2 more years.
I think he's not. I think he's on the cusp.
He's really close.
I think he's on the cusp, but not quite there. Unless his career completely craters next year, which is unlikely. I think if you ask me right now, will Jose Ramirez be a Hall of Famer? I say yes.
Yes.
If you ask me, would he be a Hall of Famer if he retired today? I think he's going to be just short. But I think he will definitely get there.
He still has another 2 or 3 highly productive years before you have to worry about
him. Right.
I'll tell you what, I always wanted to go see if I could steal a base in baseball. I think I could.
Well, it's a little easier now.
Because the base is bigger?
The base is bigger, so it's a little easier.
I think I would have back in the day, too.
You think so?
Yeah. I got a great time, man. You got to sit there. You got to get on your toes.
Yeah.
You got to look at that pitch. You got to know his mechanics. You got to know his mechanics. And once he commits, I'm gone.
Could you steal off a lefty?
No. No, I wouldn't even try it.
It's much tougher. Much tougher. But, and so, yeah, I mean, Jose nationally is under the radar.
Oh, for sure.
Listen, diehard baseball, like people that cover the game and the diehard fans, everybody knows how good Jose Ramirez is.
It's because people think he can't speak English.
Well, he doesn't speak English often.
I think
he can
We nipped
speak.
that in the bud. He said he was better than Barry Bonds in perfect English.
Well, he likes to be under the radar.
Yes, that's what he wants.
That's why he stayed here. Like, that's a big reason why he stayed. Is he's very comfortable here. So
God,
he doesn't want
I
all
got
the
to see him
cameras and
out.
lights.
I need to get out in Cleveland.
But he has been as consistently a good player. Like he's unlike the interesting thing is like almost all of those other guys who have been in the top 6 4 times have won an MVP. Most of them.
Yeah.
Jose hasn't, yet he's been in the mix more times than anybody else. And I don't think there's a single year where you can point to and say he should have won the MVP.
Right.
Like this year, somebody asked me yesterday, should he win the MVP? I said, no.
No.
Judge should win the MVP.
Yeah.
I get it. But
is Bobby Witt still
and Bobby
going?
Witt, I think Jose should finish probably third. Although if the Royals end up falling out of the playoffs, maybe Witt takes a hit for
You
that.
can make
I don't know.
a case for Jose for second.
Yeah, but Judge is going to win this year. And it's been hard with Ohtani. You know, I know he's in the National League now, but, Jose is putting up MVP caliber numbers, but there are guys putting up, a couple of guys putting up slightly better numbers.
Is Ohtani pitching in the playoffs?
No.
Okay.
No.
I know it was like speculation.
Yeah, they were throwing that out there, but he's not going to pitch in the playoffs. But, so over this final weekend to get. Remember, the Guardians have locked up the bye. They've locked up at least the 2 seed. But there is still something to play for this weekend. Is the 1 seed. You know, you compete. You want to have a better record than the teams in the National League. You could potentially play in the World Series because that would factor into home field advantage.
Run through the tape.
That's right.
Don't take your foot off now.
Especially because they're going to get 5 days off.
That's exactly right.
So I'm pitching all my relievers.
Yep.
They're going to what's interesting is, and Zach pointed this out yesterday, so they've switched up the rotation. Originally, Joey Cantillo was supposed to start yesterday.
Yes.
He's going to pitch Friday against Houston. And then Saturday, I think it's going to be Boyd.
It's an opener, I thought he said.
Well, no. So what they're doing I think Saturday's Boyd, I believe. They're skipping Lively, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. And then Sunday, they're going to pitch Gavin Williams behind an opener.
Yeah.
Now, I said I thought they should have Tanner Bybee pitch because you don't want him to be rusty going into his first start. They're going to do like a simulated game type of thing. Okay, it's not quite the same thing, but okay, I can live with it. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, according to Zach Meisel, this is the Guardians' pitching plan for the next few days.
Yeah.
Walters is starting the bullpen. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Cantillo on Friday, possibly an opener first. Saturday, Lively. Sunday, as you mentioned, an opener.
Oh, it is Lively. Okay, I said Boyd, but go ahead.
No, Saturday is Lively.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, an opener / Gavin Williams. And then Zach also said Bybee and Boyd will throw simulated games until the ALDS. Alex Cobb should be ready to throw a simulated game as well. And there's an opener ahead of Gavin Williams on Sunday, so Williams can try and get an outing in relief. And this is important to note.
Yeah.
Zach says, and I'm going to read this full sentence.
Yeah.
Quote from Zach. There's an opener ahead of Gavin on Sunday, so Williams can try out pitching in relief in case that becomes his role in October.
Yeah, I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
What it tells you is that Bybee and Boyd are definitely going to be starting in the playoffs. That's why they've chosen to go simulated game with those guys. I mean, we knew Bybee was going to start, but Boyd's going to start in the playoffs. And the fact that they're considering moving Gavin Williams to the pen, now he would be a dangerous weapon potentially out of the pen. You bring him in for 2-3 innings combined with the guys you already got back there who were dominating, could be an interesting thing. That's fascinating that they're choosing to try this on the last day of the season.
I mean, Gavin has not had the season, obviously, that we
No.
thought that he would. He's been really inconsistent. I just assumed he would be one of their starters.
Right.
I think it's a risk with him being a young guy, bringing him out of the bullpen. You just don't know how he's going to respond to that in a setting like in a playoff game. I don't think he's one of their high leverage relievers in the playoffs.
No, but if you start, what they could do potentially is if you start Lively or Boyd or Cobb in another game, they're not off to a good start. It's the third inning. Well, let's bring in Gavin Williams. We tried it, and they tell him, hey, Gavin, you're pitching 2 innings here.
Yeah.
Go in and get, and maybe he's throwing 100 miles an hour.
Well, and we talked about it. Like the quicker you get to this bullpen, the better off you're going to be. So
yeah,
maybe it is where they're stacking guys for one of those.
So
games.
McKenzie ain't going to the pen?
No, that's not happening. If that was going to happen, it would happen
by now.
He was